Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k. We're on our countdown to Christmas. We'll be doing videos from the 1st to the 24th, daily videos right up till Christmas Eve. And we are of course doing our Necrons versus Tyranids theme. Now yesterday we were speaking about the Necron Immortals going up against Tyranid Warriors. Today we've got another interesting one. It's a top 10 video, a combined top 10 for both codexes with the best characters. Now of course this is just my opinion, my playstyle. And I must say, in fact, there's a lot more in the Necron Codex than there is in the Tyranid Codex. So a slight unfair advantage, but hey, we work with what we got. Of course, our giveaway is ongoing. I know I have to keep saying it, but that's what we need to do. The giveaway is ongoing. The link will be down in the description below. It is free. 9 prizes, all pretty good prizes. Get involved in that. Let's get on with this top 10 combined characters list. So, in at number 10, it's a Tyranid one. I've gone with my little soft spot with the Parasite of Mortrex. I like the Parasite of Mortrex. I love the fact that it's got deep strike, it's got a lone operative, it's got stealth, it's got a 12-inch movement. The rest of the data sheet isn't all that. I mean, toughness 5, 4 up armor, 5 wounds is meh. It's okay / meh. And the abilities and all that, I mean, the unique abilities are sort of whatever. But the deep strike, lone operative, and stealth and 12-inch movement is all I wanted, really. That's all I want from this unit, especially from my secondaries. The damage outlay isn't great, that's why he's number 10. But when you're doing secondaries, investigate signal, deploy teleport homer, engage on the front behind enemy lines, cleanse, and so on, this could be your guy. So I like the Parasite Mortrex. He is my number 10, and he's only 80 points as well. Cheap. In at number 9, we've gone Necrons, and I've gone with a Necron Chronomancer. Now, the Chronomancer, I think, is going to be a big deal for this codex, because I think Immortals are going to be a big deal this codex. Chair's gone wonky, there we go. The Warriors, in my opinion, have fallen. They are cheaper, and reanimating them isn't as nice as it used to be. So I think Immortals are now the new thing, the new toy. And there's so much synergy with the detachments. I'll give you a few examples. You could take Warriors, sorry, not Warriors, you could take Immortals with your Chronomancer, of course. You could take a second character. It could be a Noble or Royal Warden. Let's say, for example, you've taken an Overlord with the Translocation Shroud. So this is a good pairing because, first of all, your Immortals are moving 5 inches. If they've got the Tesla carbines, that has the assault keyword, so therefore they can advance and fire. But with the Overlord with the Shroud, you can auto advance 6 inches and you're going to do all your movement through enemy models. So you're going 6 inches, you're then firing, sustain hits 2, all over the place. Then, because the Chronomancer is in there, he's got an ability called the Chronometron ability where he can actually move the unit an additional 5 inches after firing. So you can either duck into cover, or just keep pressing forward onto an objective. Remember, there's a lot of OC with Immortals, that 2 OC each. So that's a total of 16 inches of going through models as well, and firing on top of that. You can then use the Canoptic Core for full rerolls maybe, the Stratagem for devastating wounds, maybe the Obeisance Phalanx to have +1 to the wound roll. Don't forget Immortals reroll all the wound rolls as well, or ones if there's not an enemy on an objective. But there's loads to this. Now going back to the Chronomancer, because I got a bit carried away there. The Chronomancer's got the -1 to hit the unit ability, so effectively stealth for the unit. And yeah, he doesn't have to just pair with that Overlord. It could be a Royal Warden, so he can fall back and shoot. There's so much synergy, and I think that may be the new go-to, or one of the new go-tos with the Cryptex, with the Immortals anyway. So yeah, that is my number 9. On a very similar vein, number 8 is a Plasmancer. Now, using the same example, you can instead replace that Chronomancer with a Plasmancer, so you're not going to get that last bit of extra movement, and you're not going to get that -1 to hit the unit. However, the entire unit is going to get basically the rule of critical hits of a 5+ rather than a 6+. So again, if you've got sustained hits 2, and you're re-rolling everything in the Canoptic Core, you fish for them, bang, you're going to get a load of stuff. You're going to get a load of it. And I mean, he throws out mortal wounds as well, the Plasmancer, don't forget, with his ability. But I rolled some dice just last night, and with a unit of 10 Immortals with a Plasmancer, just that combination alone. I had, all in all, when I used the Canoptic Core, I was re-rolling everything to hit, and I was re-rolling everything to wound as well because of the ability. With critical hits on a 5+, sustain hits 2, I went up against a toughness 9 monster and inflicted a total of 11 wounds on it. Or 11 damage in overall. I don't mean wounds, I mean damage. So after the armor saves, because I used the devastating wound stratagem with an overlord in the unit, and it's free to use because it's a battle tactic stratagem, so there's so much synergy. So yeah, I don't know which one I prefer, the Chronomancer or the Plasmancer. I think it's the Plasmancer actually because it's number 8. Both good. Chronomancer's a bit more open to being offensive as well as defensive. Offensively because you can keep pressing onto objectives, or defensively ducking into terrain. Whereas the Plasmancer is just full on offense. Critical hits, bang. Love it. Number 7, we are sticking with Necrons. It's a Transcendent C'tan. Now, before seeing the Codex release stuff, or the leaks and things like that, the Transcendent C'tan was a little bit higher in the list. But because we've seen that the other C'tans have now got a natural 5+ field no pain save, and also the Transcendent C'tan cannot take the enhancement anymore, the 4+ enhancement for the field no pain, he has to go down a bit. Has to, because that was the main reason you took him. He's halving damage. He's lost a bit of movement. In fact, he's now only moving 6 inches. Toughness 11, 4+ armor, 4+ invuln, 12 wounds, halving damage, 5+ field no pain save, so you're taking a third off of that as well. Deep strike. He's got the ability so where he advances, any turn he advances, you can literally zip him off the board, put it back on, same phase, more than 9 inches away from enemy units. And he's a nasty guy at range and in melee, with his strip 8 and strip 9 weapons. He's pretty good all round, but I now think there are better C'tans. Number 6, we're going into the Tyranids. We've got a Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant is an animal. Toughness 10, 2+ armor, 4+ invuln, 10 wounds. You've got all sorts of stuff. He could be leading Tyrant Guard if you wanted. He's a character for enhancements. Maybe you want the Adaptive Biology enhancement from the Invasion Fleet, so that you could have the Feel No Pain save. He's got options in terms of the range and melee weapons. He's of course Synapse, Shadow in the Warp. He's got the Will of the Hive Mind. So very similar to an Overlord, where you could use a stratagem for 0 command points if it's battle tactic. And it's not just on his unit, it's a unit within 12. He's also got the Aura, so anything within 6 inches gets the Assault keyword. That could be brilliant. But yeah, overall, I think the Hive Tyrant is one of my go-tos when I'm playing Tyranids. Number 5, I couldn't really split them, but I have to do this. I've gone with the Swarmlord. I think the Swarmlord slightly pips it for me. Very similar stats. The stat line is in fact the exact same. It's got the toughness 10, 2+ armor, 4+ invuln, 10 wounds. He's again leading the Tyrant Guard if he wanted to. Shadow in the Warp, Synapse, all that stuff. Now, his abilities are different because in the command phase, if he's on the battlefield, you gain a CP. I like that. Not only that, once per battle, when your opponent uses a stratagem, you can increase the cost of that stratagem by 1 command point, and that will remain for the rest of the battle, for that one stratagem alone. I think that is where he pips the Hive Tyrant for me. Because not only are you gaining a CP, you're also making your opponent have to spend more to use their most favourable stratagem. Whereas the Hive Tyrant, yes, it can use a stratagem for free on a unit, but it has to be a battle tactic stratagem. Whereas the Hive Commander ability literally just guarantees you a CP, regardless. So I think I prefer that. Also, he's extending Synapse with his Aura, 9-inch Aura. And his weapons are pretty good as well. He's got the Torrent, which is an auto-hitting strength 5 weapon with 2 damage. Sort of an anti-infantry kind of weapon. And the melee attacks, of course, with the Bone Sabers. Very similar to the Monstrous Bone Sword, in fact. But you get 8 attacks. So yeah, that is my number 5. It's the Swarmlord. Number 4, in fact, let me have a cup of tea. Hold on. The English do love a good cup of tea. Number 4, we've got the Nightbringer. He is probably my favourite C'tan. He is my favourite C'tan. And I'm glad he's back with this Codex because, yeah, he's back with a vengeance. So you're going to see him a lot. Okay, his movement has been nerfed. It's now only 6 inches. But we've got new detachments. And if you're using, for example, the Hypercrypt Legion, and you're hyperphasing this guy in, nasty. Doesn't really care about the movement anymore, because he can just come in 9 inches away. Maybe you make the charge, maybe you don't make the charge, but next turn you're probably making the charge, right? His abilities are good. You're going to be doing D3 mortal wounds in the fight phase on a 4+, with the first ability, the second one, the Necrodermis ability, so it's halving all damage taken. So if you've got a damage characteristic of 4, it's instantly 2. It does round up though, so if you've got a damage characteristic of 3, maybe it's your Swarmlord, it will go to 2. There is no 1.5, so it will go up to 2. Unfortunately for us, Necron players, it does go up, but that's still good. It's still like a -1 to damage in a way. He's also now been given a 5+ feel no pain save naturally, which he didn't used to have before. So that's going to go on top of his Invuln save, which is a 4+. So 4+ Invuln, 5+ feel no pain save, halving all damage, toughness 11, 4+ armor, which doesn't really make any odds because he's got the 4+ Invuln, 12 wounds. He's going to be like the new Transcendent, but better because he can hit harder. And this is what he does. Ranged weapons, Gaze of Death, which is blast, D3 shots, hitting on 2, strength 12, -2 AP, D6 +3 damage. That's just the range side of it. And no one really thinks of him as a ranged character. He's more into the melee, but that in itself is good. The melee side, 2 different profiles. The strike profile has dev wounds, hitting on 2s, strength 14, -4 AP, and D6 +2 damage. They've added the +2 now with this new codex. If you didn't fancy that and you were going against infantry, you got the sweet profile, 14 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 8, -2 AP, and 2 damage. So even though it's anti-infantry, it's anti-marine infantry, not just like gaunts. It's killing space marines too. So it's really, he's powerful. He's powerful. And I suspect he's not going to go up that much in points. I mean, even if he did, let's say he went up to like 300, 310, I think he's still worth it, but I don't think he's going to. I've just got a feeling he's not going to. That is a Nightbringer. As for number 3, we're going with the Tyranids, Deathleaper. Deathleaper, of course, is an OP character in this codex. So good, so cheap. 70 points for a lone operative, infiltrator, fight first, stealth kind of character. Can't take enhancements, he's an epic hero. But he's got a toughness 6, 3 up, 4 up, wounds 7, gain CP for killing characters, which he can do because he's got fight first, he's got precision. He can also force battle shock, and it's a -1 to battle shock. And with his Lictor Claws, yeah, precision, hit on 2, strength 7, -2 AP, 2 damage. That's enough. You know, he's only a 70 point character. He shouldn't be having damage 3, damage D6 +2 and all that kind of stuff. Damage 2 is plenty. He's still doing work against standard marines. He's doing work against Lich Guard, for example. He's doing work, and 70 points, all the abilities you want. I love him. He's a pain in the butt to shift, and I think he's probably the best character in the Tyranids, which is a little bit of a spoiler as we move on. Number 2, before doing this, well, before seeing some of the previews for the codex, this was my number 1. So you have to wait until number 1 to see what it is. But my previous number 1, which is now number 2, the Technomancer. The Technomancer is still fantastic. Still retains the majority of his previous stuff. His stat line isn't all that. His range attacks and melee attacks are not all that. It's not about that. He hides in a unit. Now, previously he used to go with Warriors, Immortals, or Lich Guard. Now, he can't go with Lich Guard anymore, because Lich Guard cannot take any Cryptex. However, he can go with Canoptic Wraiths, which is mad. So they've got rid of the control node now, because no one was, well, just didn't need it. They're sticking with the cloak. He's got fly and a movement of 10 inches. He's lost lone operative though. So he's going to be keeping up with Wraiths in that unit, of course. He can heal a model D3 in the movement phase. That's on top of the reanimation protocols, of course. He gives the unit a 5+ food and pain save, which is why you take him. Canoptic Wraiths have already got an extra wound in this codex. They've already got the 4+ invulnerable save. Now a 5+ food and pain save. They're going to be healed. This guy's, of course, a character, so he can take enhancements. He's, of course, a Cryptek model, so in the Canoptic Corps, they could potentially have full rerolls. There's a stratagem to give the entire unit the Infiltrator's keyword, or ability rather. So yeah, full rerolls. You can get devastating wounds on the unit with another stratagem. And this is all unlocked because of the Technomancer having the Cryptek keyword. Well, saying that, in fact, the Canoptic Wraiths have the Canoptic keyword, so they actually unlock it themselves. But having a 5+ Ruin and Pain save for very little points is very strong. Very strong. But unfortunately, he's not going to go with Lich Guard, which was the go-to for the index. You put the Technomancer with the Swords and Shields Lich Guard, the 4+ Invulnerable save, with the 5+ Ruin and Pain save. Very similar to the race in terms of stats. But the toughness wasn't as good. And Wraiths are much quicker. Much quicker. So number 1, drum roll. It's going to be the Necron Overlord with the Translocation Shroud. Now, this one was a discussion in the Discord, in the council that I've got set up. And this one did not occur to me until the guys came up with this. And I was like, you know what, this is mad. So, we kind of did allude to it slightly when we were talking about the Chronomancer and the Plasmancer earlier. But that Translocation Shroud ability is major. It's major. Being able to auto-advance 6 inches, and you can phase through enemy units as if they were not even there. And that's with your normal move, advanced move, fallback move. You can do it through terrain. So they've effectively got the old Canoptic Wraith ability, but now you're sticking it on either Immortals, it could be Warriors. The Overlords can go with Lich Guard, so you can do it with Lich Guard. Now, of course, the Overlord can't go with Wraiths, but you've got the other 3 options there. Now, as we already mentioned earlier in the video, you can pair him with a Cryptek. So maybe you're going to be sticking that Chronomancer for the extra movement with this, after using this Translocation Shroud ability. Maybe the Plasmancer. There's loads of stuff you can do with it. Now he's got My Will Be Done, so he can use a stratagem for free on the unit. So maybe you want to unlock something like Devastating Wounds with the Canoptic Court, if you've got the Plasmancer in there. Now he doesn't have the -1 to damage like the standard Overlord does. But to be honest, I don't think he needed it. When a character like an Overlord is in a unit of Immortals, Warriors, Lich Guard, they're only getting targeted with precision, which is, you know, it's uncommon. It's not rare, but it's not common. Or like Epic Challenge or something. I mean, that is precision. But if he's in a melee fight and someone uses Epic Challenge, he's probably dying anyway. Don't forget you can stand him back up again in the actual Awakened Dynasty as well. He's got his Resurrection Orb, which has been nerfed because it's now only once per battle when it's D6 reanimation wounds back. And you've not got any choice of weaponry here. You've only got the Overlord's Blade, but it does have Devastating Wounds. It's probably the best weapon there, or I think it's the best weapon there. Strength 8, -3 AP, 2 damage. I mean, the Void Scythe is actually better, but you do get 1 less attack, and you're hitting on 3s, not 2s, but you can't take that anyway. He is a character, so he's going to be with options of enhancements. He's going to work with the Obeisance Phalanx detachment because he's an Overlord. So it's going to make the entire unit have the Overlord keyword. If you've got any Crypteks, that's going to work with the Canoptic Court detachment. So there's lots of things you can unlock just by having 2 characters in a unit. But I think this guy is the play. I think he is the play. Getting all your Immortals, even your Warriors. I know Warriors aren't as good now. But getting those battle line units with OC2 per model, through screens, onto an objective. Maybe it's capture enemy outpost. Maybe it's storm hostile objective, overwhelming force. Just getting onto it, clearing a unit out, getting into it could be no man's land. It's then battle lines. There's loads of things you could do with that in terms of secondaries, and it's got killing power as well. So it's got the best of everything in my opinion, and that's why the Overlord with the Translocation Shroud is my number 1 at this moment in time. So guys, you'll have to let me know give me your top 3. It's easy for your top 3. Don't forget about the giveaway. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow on the 6th of December.